Today we're going to unbox a Longevity 200 SX TIG stick welder. So that's what you get out of the box. Now I want to show you some of the things that you don't get in the box and you're going to need. Argon. So this bottle of argon is well, it cost me $25 to fill it up, and I rent the bottle, but I can't remember how much the bottle is to actually rent. But it's $25 anyway to fill this tank up. It's quite a large size. So one of the things that has caught me out, I would say, in the past is when you hook up the gas supply to your machines, you need to make sure that it's not leaking. Now the reason why you do that is if it leaks, you lose your gas. Now, as it happens, that particular bottle of argon was a brand new bottle. I had that refilled just this week, and unfortunately when I hooked it up to the machine, I didn't do a very good job. Now I thought I tested it, and well, it leaked, so it's now empty. Now that's not, you know, it's not expensive to refill it particularly, but it is a pain in the arse, because right now I can't use the welding machine. I've got to wait for the refill people, and they deliver it. I can't go and get it, so I've now got to wait. Never mind. What I normally do, and obviously I didn't, I normally use a leak detector. Well, actually I did, but I did it too late. I found out I had the leak before it had completely run out. But anyway, I do normally use this leak detector. Now normally I use this on propane tanks or acetylene tanks, you know, which are a dangerous explosive. Or for argon, which is an inert gas, meaning it doesn't interact with anything in particular, I didn't really think about checking for leaks because I wasn't afraid of it blowing up. Okay, lesson learned. Get some of this. If you can't find this, you can use kids' bubble liquid. Okay, other items you're going to need, and these are kind of obvious. These are gloves. Now, these ones are not your regular welding gloves. These ones are specifically for TIG welding. Now, the difference between a regular welding glove and a TIG welding glove is they're very thin. Well, they're not very thin, but they're a hell of a lot thinner than your regular welding glove. Now, what does that mean? It means you're going to burn yourself, so just be prepared. If you go around touching stuff that's recently been welded, it's going to get hot, and these will not necessarily stop you from burning yourself. So just remember that. Well, you're going to learn anyway, just like I did. Now the reason why they're thin is because you need to use a filler rod in one hand and your torch in the other, and you need to feel the filler rod. You need to be able to feed it through your fingers. You can't do that with fat gloves. On that subject of filler rod, you're going to need some filler rod. Now this is a mild steel 3/32, how long? 36 inches. That's a 3 foot. So this is what it looks like. That's a 3/32, and I think you buy it in weights. This was a 1 pound weight, but you get plenty of rod in there. Now, first time users, that includes me, buy yourself a decent amount of this stuff to begin with. It wasn't particularly expensive. I got a feeling it was like $10 for the 1 pound. So I actually bought, what was this? What did I say it was? This is a 3/32 and a, what did I get? A 1/16 Now, the reason why I got the 1/16 is because I wanted to do thin welding stuff, thin materials. Now, I haven't actually used any of this stuff yet because I actually found the 3/32 to be plenty for what I needed to do. Now, bear in mind, I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to TIG welding, so that may change. But anyway, there we go. So I actually bought 2 mild steel. These are, what are these types? This is a 70S2, which is like a general purpose. I didn't buy anything specific. So this is a general purpose mild steel welding rod. And I bought some aluminum welding rod, which is the whole reason why I got the TIG machine in the first place, is to weld aluminum. So again, I got 1/16 and 3/32. There we go. Again, this is what it looks like. So the thinner one is obviously the 1/16, and the fatter one is the 3/32. So the 3/32 looks like this. That's the 1/16. Something else you're going to absolutely need is a wire brush. So this is a steel wire brush should I say. This one's good for working on mild steel or steel products. It's not good for aluminum. So for aluminum you need to use stainless steel. It looks a bit like this. It's slightly different in colour. There's the steel brush, there's the stainless steel brush, and I've got a mini one too. One of those important items that you're going to absolutely have is a welding mask, now, or a helmet. Now they do give you one in the package, as you might saw in the unboxing. This is it. I'm not going to get it out, it's a pile of crap. So you're going to have to buy one. Now if you've already got one, let me put that away, actually throw that away. If you've already got one, you've probably got something like this. This is a, you know, standard, I don't know what shade number it is. Anyway, it's a standard welding mask, nothing particularly, a welding helmet, nothing particularly interesting about it. However, it does not auto darken. Now, what I found is it's kind of difficult to work with TIG without an auto darkening helmet. So, as a new person to TIG welding, I absolutely recommend you get an auto darkening helmet, which I did. So I ended up getting one of these, and this is a auto sense, and I'm not going to do a review on this sucker, but basically it goes dark when the arc strikes, and allows you to see with the mask on, so you don't have to keep lifting up your mask and all the rest of it. It's brilliant, and I wish I'd bought one long before now. You're going to need some tungsten, and you can get different sizes tungsten. Now, I don't know anything about these things. All I know is there's different types. As a general purpose one, lanthanated, 2% lanthanated. I've got 1.6mm electrodes here. Do need grinding. When you get them, they're flat. So that's the end, and you can see it's, you know, there's no point on there whatsoever. So when you're welding, you need to put a point on this guy. So to do that, you're going to need something to grind it with. So a grinding wheel, I found, works really well. And I'm not going to go into this now, but you know, lots of people say don't use that grinding wheel for anything else other than grinding your your electrodes because of contamination. Well, I don't know anything about that stuff, so I can't tell you if that's a good thing or a bad thing or what. You have to work that one out yourself. These ones, these are not particularly cheap. I can't remember how much I paid for these. Maybe 40 or 50 bucks, and there's only 10 in a pack. So that stuff's kind of expensive. That's it. Oh no, a couple of extra items that you never really thought about. You're going to need a way to secure your tank so it doesn't topple over. I've been using bungee cords. I don't have welding trolley, so I've just been using bungee cords against this metal table that I've got. And another thing you're going to need is a wrench, so you can tighten up the nuts and bolts on your cabling, your pipes. So let me take you into some of that stuff. So this is the back side of the 200SX machine. There is a single port, I don't know what else to call it. It's for the argon, it's marked AR. So that's where your argon would go. Let me go and get my argon cable and we'll plug it in. So basically this screws in clockwise. Now I'm not going to do it up just yet, I'm going to come back to that. So the other end obviously needs to go to your gas tank. You need to get the regulator for that. So this is the regulator that comes with the machine. It's quite a nice little unit actually. So one side is the tank pressure, which is this guy, this side. And this side is the output pressure, the pressure going into your welding machine. There's two measurements on both of these units. One of them is kilograms centimeters squared. I have no idea what the hell that means. And there's PSI, which is what I'm more used to. Now obviously when the tank is full, it's well, this particular one come at 2,000 or just over 2,000, maybe 2,500 PSI. And then on the output side, the argon, I've seen people reference around 15 to 20 cubic feet an hour. The inside, the red numbers on this dial. And the other one is for bar pressure, which I guess is for those people out in Europe. Anyway, give that a little burst, clean it out, and you screw that on. Again, that goes on clockwise. And then attach the argon lead like so. So this is where I'm going to use the leak detector stuff. So I'm going to turn this on. Now always when you turn on the gas, or from anything that's got a regulator, especially from the glass lenses like this, you don't ever look at the gauges, because it has been known that when you turn on the gas, these things can pop off or shatter. So make sure you don't look at these things. I'm standing from the back of this unit, so I'm going to turn this on. You do it gently, and there we go. Whoa, it's leaking badly, so let me tighten that up. Let's tighten up this one too. So when you tighten them up, you don't over tighten them, just do them tight. So I'm going to turn the gas on. Remember, you face away from the lenses. Do it gently. And there we go. So you can open it up a couple of turns. Now at this point here, I'm going to check for leaks. So I'm applying some of the leak detector around some of the joints, or all of the joints actually. Just check to make sure there are no leaks. So basically rub it on and have a look. If you got I can see a little tiny bubble coming out of there. There he is, can you see him? There he is. Let's see if I can get that on the camera. There we go. So the idea is you get your wrench and you tighten that sucker up until it stops bubbling. Check it again. So you're going to repeat that for everywhere where there's a screw and the gas is somehow connected to it. So I'm going to take a look at the torch. I've taken it all apart here, but basically there's the torch handle itself, and it's labelled as a WP26. Down the inside there is just an empty hole. So these are all the different parts. I'll show you this one first. This is the easiest part. It actually connects to where the thing screws into the front of the machine, and you slot that over the top like so, and then you can screw it into the front of the machine. I'll show you that in a second. out of the way. So it comes with 3 different cups. These pink things here. They've got the numbers 5, 6 and 7. I don't actually know what these numbers mean, but they're obviously some sort of size measurement. I tried measuring them, figured it would be millimeters, but I was very wrong. It's nowhere near that. So this particular one, which is labelled 7, has an inside diameter there of 10.4 millimeters. So I don't really know what the hell the numbers are for. So you get, this is the back end of the torch. It's got a little gasket on there, little rubber seal, and that's to stop the gas leaking out. So basically that will screw, where's the head gone? That will screw into the unit like so. And we've got 2 of those. We have a longer one and the stubby one. So this stubby one is for when you want to reach into, when you've got less room to work in, you can put the stubby screw piece on, or if you've got a full size tungsten, which is what this is, basically it's used to keep it safe and out of your way so you don't electrocute yourself. I'll put that together in a second. Have this little seal. This sits between the cup and the torch, like so. I won't let go of that because I haven't got the rest of it in there, but that's what that's for. So this is the collet holder, and I have it's been stamped on here. This is a 2.4 millimeter or 3/32, and that goes, oops, that goes up inside and screws in to the torch. Then we've got different sized collets. So basically the way the collet works is it's got splits in the top here, like so. You can see that. And what happens is as you tighten down the back end, it pushes this into a smaller and smaller hole and eventually closes up this little split. Therefore it clamps onto your tungsten. So I've taken this tungsten here. What size is this one? Actually, I'll tell you what all the different sizes are that you get with the machine. So this one says a 1.6 millimeter, which is a 1/16 of an inch. This one is a 2.4 3/32 inch. This one's a 2 millimeter or a 5/64, which I think that's what that is. Nope, that is not that. I don't know. One of these. There we go. So you put the collet into the back of the torch, choose the right cap, and obviously you'd sharpen the tungsten, which I haven't done. Slot that in there. Oh, I've done that up too tight. Did I put the wrong one in? Nope, there it is. Choose your cup. Screw that in play, or push that on. There we go. Then you set the depth and you tighten the back of the torch up. So now that locks it into place, like so. Now, attaching this to the machine, we have 2 parts. We have the screw fitting, which is where the gas goes through, and then we have this control piece, which is what this button on the top is for. So when you push this, this would initiate the current flow and cause the arc, and that's controlled from this. Now, you also get a foot pedal. So normally you don't use, well, you can't use both of these buttons. You either use the foot pedal or you use the button. Now, I haven't tried using this button, so I won't actually connect this. I've only done it using the foot pedal so far. So this is the front of the machine. TIG, which is where we're going to plug in our TIG torch. Stick is where you plug in your stick. This is the remote pedal port, and there's a ground there as well. So let's take our torch. There he is. Let's remove that cap. Funny how you get a cap on the TIG but not for anything else. Anyway, the little plastic, I don't know what you want to call that thing anyway, protector, I don't know. You stick that over the nut and then you screw it in, and once it's on, give it a little tug and there we go. So you can't check it for leaks, so you can kind of hope that you've done it up tight enough. So next on the list is the foot pedal. This is what the foot pedal looks like. You can see that's the connector for controlling the arc. And basically you put your foot on here and press gradually, and you can get the full range. There is a limiter on this. I'll bring that up close. So you can set your ampage on here to whatever range you want. So basically this is the maximum setting. So if I have this set on 80 amps like it is now, if I push this down, it goes from what's the starting amp, which is about 10 amps I believe, down to 80. So 10, 80. So taking the foot pedal plug, you have a look on the bottom here, you'll see that there is a notch. Mine is currently here. If you can see that. And there is a corresponding notch on the bottom end of this. So you'd put it in, give it a turn until it reaches the... Come on. Hang on a second. Let's do that again. There we go. Squeeze that in and then tighten it up. Only two more things left to do. One of those is to plug it in and put some power into the unit. So that just brings me to one other point. Now, when I plugged mine in, I just stuck it in any old socket that I found that I had available, and started to try and weld on it, and before I could even start anything, it would power down pretty much instantly. The second I put my foot on the pedal, it would turn off. After a little bit of investigation, I followed through to the circuit breaker, and this is my circuit breaker, which is no longer in there, but it is rated, oh, it's upside down. This is rated at 20 amps, which ain't good enough. So 200 SX at 110 volts. For the TIG is 35 amps. So I actually put in a 30 amp breaker, and that works great. I haven't had any issues at all. I didn't want to go to a 40 amp because I didn't have room in my breaker box. So anyway, just watch out. If it doesn't work, check your breaker switch. It will not work unless there is enough ampage. So this is the power switch. It is on the back of the machine, which is very inconvenient. You can't turn the machine on or off when you're working. Basically you have to get up from wherever you are going, walk over to the back of the machine and switch it off. It's kind of inconvenient. But anyway, here it is. You switch it up and off it pops. Only one thing left to do. Put your welding jacket on. You don't want to burn your arms. Now I've got to learn how to use it.